All right, thanks for being here. Let's begin. We connect to our deep Ujjayi breath. And just use some basic alignment as orientation. Getting the back of the skull lined up over the back of the heart, over the back of the pelvis. If it's more comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. And start to spread your breath through your core, reaching the tailbone slightly downward. Almost help you get that sense of drawing breath right from the earth, right from the ground. And today I just want to celebrate in this practice just what an incredible privilege it is that we get to choose to practice. And so as a celebration, I want to use every pose to fill, to lighten, to enhance our well-being. So may we find the resource and the upliftment in every moment of this hour. I'm going to move through some no holds Uddiyana. So inhaling till you feel fullness in your lungs. And spreading the foot bones, bring the hands straight away in front of your shins and swiftly exhale out the mouth. Remain empty and draw the belly in. Releasing, come upright. We'll take a few deep breaths, just kind of normalizing, or Ujjayi breaths. And when we're ready for another round, here we go. Inhaling till fullness, the feeling of fullness. And And straight away, hands in front of the shins, exhale everything out. Remain empty. Continue that exhalation pattern with the belly, pulling back, pulling in. And as you're drawing in with your hands, gently pull, pull. So you're lengthening through the diaphragm, lengthening underneath the heart. Release. Take a couple normalizing or resettling breaths. Let's do one more on our own. Getting all the way full. Getting all the way empty. Resuming Ujjayi breath. We'll change cross of legs for a seated spinal twist with the sole of the right foot on the ground beside the left thigh. So this is the sole of right foot. We're twisting to the right. Inhaling, right hand down, left arm up. Exhaling, press into those feet as you hook that left elbow over the thigh. Spread the hand bones, spread the foot bones. And just gently continue reaching the sit bones and the tailbone downward. So that as you're spreading your breath through your core, you can feel that spreading the core open. So there's a slight opening inside your body. Even a tiny opening can be a great freedom. And just relaxing that bottom jaw. Okay, release. Inhale, come back centrally. We'll switch sides. And with sole of foot planted, left hand down, inhale the right arm up. Exhaling, hook, right elbow over left thigh. Okay, feel the feet. Feel that gentle down reach to the ground through the tailbone, through the leg bones. Start to gently spread open. from the inside with your breath. And release. Inhaling, unwind. All right. When we lie on our back, do a little move to unlock the hip in elbow to knee or back traction. So just as a reminder, when we're working elbow to knee, we'll use a hand on a thigh and a push. The push can be one of a couple of things. I can be pushing my thigh away from my nose, in essence lengthening my spine, or I can be pushing my thigh toward the sky, almost like it's kind of opening up the hip socket. So let's start with the hands behind head, feet off floor, inhaling into the low back. You feel it spread and connect to the ground. As you raise the head up. Now exhaling, send the left leg straight up toward the sky, putting left hand on the thigh, and now pull low belly down as the left hand presses. Inhaling, bend left knee. Curl tailbone or just press with your abdomen downward. Exhaling, right leg up, right hand press. Pull low belly down. Inhaling, bend right knee. Abdominals, hold that back to the floor. Exhale, left leg reach, left hand press. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend left knee, keeping shoulders up. Exhaling, right leg reaches skyward, straight up. Right hand presses. And as you're pressing, just feel what's happening in your back, in your hip socket. Good. Now inhaling, bend right knee. Let's do one more per side. And as you're holding your abdominals and your back to the floor, it's so you're not rocking or pushing your back off the ground. And after that, we'll set the feet down, grab your roll, kind of get right into it. We'll use the roll for a few things. Bringing legs skyward for abs with a roll. Interlace hands behind head. Inhale into low belly and low back. Squeeze, slight curl tailbone, exhale head and shoulders off the floor. Keep engaging those legs, spreading the foot bones, pull the low belly down. Inhaling, set head down. Pausing, squeeze. Curl tailbone, exhale, float head and shoulder blades off the floor. Maintain that squeeze, those leg muscles turn on. Pull low belly down. Inhaling, set the head down. We'll do 5 more. Keeping in mind that when we contract muscles, we contract, a lot of heat is created, and that's actually desirable for where we're going with the legs and the and the shoulders today. So let that contraction help you start to warm your body. So continuing on your own, do about 5 more. And of course, you'll get a little more heat stoked if you get the bigger muscle groups turned on, like those inner thighs and those buttock muscles. Good. Now when you're through, we'll set feet down, removing roll, and prep a block. When we go up into bridge this morning, anticipate we'll work some half Virasana, plus the option of one leg up at a time. So start setting the feet, fingertips skim heels, inhaling into abdomen, under the diaphragm, into the chest wall, feet active, exhaling, press, curling the tailbone off the floor, the buttock, the spine, and insert the block under your sacrum. And please know the research bears this out, that this kinds of mindfulness practices and this consciousness work actually complements development, just human development in all of those lines, especially cognitive development. And by cognitive development, I mean the ability to take on perspectives. So the fact that we get to work with our consciousness in our bodies it's supplementing our human development, absolutely. So let's breathe that in. Every single breath, we get to participate in a multivariate growth process. It's astounding. Left hand, grab left ankle, drawing it back for half Virasana. As you draw the left foot back, getting the top of the foot on the ground so the toes point back at the shoulder. Now keep pressing through that sole of right foot. Press. 1, you'll keep charging up and working and heating that leg up. And 2, you'll alleviate some pressure on the back by using those butt muscles. Now, if you need the right foot stability, if you need that right foot to stay on ground, remain here. Option is taking right foot up towards sky, reaching it straight up. Now, of course, this does put weight on the block, and it does have a kind of a tippy feeling, so just know that going in. And reaching through both thigh bones, both inner feet, all the way through the big toe joints. And inhaling, we'll set that right foot down. Release the left foot from that half Virasana. Before we change sides, take at least one very deep breath. All right, half Virasana on the other side. Right hand, reach down, grab right ankle. Draw foot back. Place top of right foot on floor. And again, I'll use my right hand to hold the foot in place if it doesn't quite get toenails to floor. Take a moment, press with that left foot so you can help set your pelvis, meaning shift your tailbone toward the sky, alleviating pressure in the low back. So I would leave the left foot on the floor pressing if I had a delicate back situation. Another option for today is to take that left foot off the ground and reach it skyward. So you will be resting atop the block. And connect to an incredibly deep breath. We get to do this. We get to feel this. Inhaling, set left foot down. Release the right foot from half Virasana. Take a full breath to lift the chest away from the block, to press the buttock and the sacrum off the block. And take as many exhalations as you need to lower. And once the weight of your pelvis settles down, just hug legs toward thigh. Take one more very deep breath into low back. And let's turn over. We'll set up for dolphin. So we're pressing to our elbows and our knees. Setting forearms straight out in front. Pushing to ensure the shoulders are kind of supported. There's a lot of musculature that turns on around the shoulder joint, especially the chest. The upper back spreads a little bit. Inhaling into the upper back with the aim of feeling that expansion. Curl toes under, exhaling, knees off floor, dolphin. If it's works out for you, walk your feet about 1 inch closer to your elbows. This does increase the challenge slightly. And with those feet having been walked in a little closer, lift sit bones away from armpits. Often in the body, when things start to get a little hot, where there's growing intensity, there's also a burgeoning freedom in the body. So I invite you, if there's a little bit of a hot spot starting to grow, just connect to your breath. You can actually feed your breath right into that area. We'll just be here 3 more breaths, 3 or 4 more breaths. And just learning if there's some freedom in there, in the sense of, is there something starting to open or something starting to move? And I mean that organic movement, that unforced movement on its own. The fact that we can observe if something is moving organically is a great freedom of choice. All right, gently set the knees down. And having exited that, let's stand top of our mat. Inhaling, reach arms overhead. Exhaling, fold. Neck relaxed. When we inhale the left foot back, optional is knee padding. We're moving into twisting lunge. So we'll set the left knee down. Exhaling the left elbow over the right thigh. And just notice if you started to ball up or tighten down in the intestine area, and just get really soft here, really soft internally. Inhaling, unwind. With hands on floor or on blocks, nomads, which is a forward fold. Straighten right leg. Engage the back of your leg muscles by pulling the heel toward the sit bone. So it may look like you're pointing the foot forward. I'm kind of pulling the heel into the mat and actually engaging the back of the leg. So it's not a purely passive stretch. Again, contract. 1, we get a little heat out of it, and 2, we're just not going into max stretch right off the bat. And while you're holding that leg engaged, just another breath or so. Connect to an even deeper breath that expands the ribs. Expand, expand, expand. And releasing. Inhale, draw that right foot back. And when we lower down, belly to ground, you can do so from knees or through plank. Cobra. Strongly straighten the legs. So engage those quads. Press back through the big toes. Shift the tailbone down so the buttock muscles turn on. Inhale, pull the chest forward. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. Twisting lunge. Inhale, left foot forward. Setting right knee down, padding optional, yet recommended. Exhaling, right elbow over left thigh. And just feeling, what is it that we're doing inside of our guts? Here we go. Those guts are starting to move more freely. And inhaling, unwind. Nomad's pose, straighten left leg by walking it forward. Engage the back of the leg by pulling the heel toward the sit bone. You can also engage that quadricep. So just getting a little bit of this contractile action going. We'll want it. And while you're holding that leg firmly contracted, connect to a deep breath. Hold that leg really energized. And deeply breathe. So it becomes not just an either or, but that becomes a both and. All right, release. Inhale, draw the left foot back. Exhaling, we'll lower down, belly to ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Warrior two. Inhale, right foot forward. And do a little hand and wrist stuff here. So as you're inhaling, press the palms out and draw the fingernails back toward your head. And then exhale, reach out through the pinky, curling it in, ring, middle, index. So each finger individually gets kind of lengthened and made into a fist. We'll do it a few times. Inhale is opening up the palm, pressing palms out. Exhaling, curling each finger independently in. So getting into the cobweb part of the fingers. Pulling the knuckles down. And again, inhaling, opening. And then exhaling, reaching out and through just to get into those little areas of the fingers and between the knuckles. All right, we also need a reverse warrior today. So inhale, left hand to thigh, right arm up. Exhaling, lift the torso away from the pelvis as you reach left. Press through those feet. As you press to the feet, feel if there's any quality of buoyancy in the pelvis, in the hip sockets. Buoyancy goes a long way to unsticking ourselves. Inhaling, right arm up and over. Set the hands down. Exhaling, step right foot back, lower plank to ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior two. And this time, on this side, we'll work some bird wing. Bring the elbows, and so the upper arms, right along your flank, your rib cage with the palms up. Inhale your rib cage into your arms. So look here, there you go. Exhale, squeeze the arms into the ribs. It's like a general way to get it. And then finesse that contraction up into the armpits and into the back creases of the armpits. We'll do a few of these. Inhale is letting up the squeeze. Exhaling is a squeeze. Get those muscles contracting all around the shoulder, especially back crease. And again, inhaling. Exhaling, contracting armpits, back creases of armpits. Squeeze them, squeeze them. All right, release. Inhale the right hand to the right thigh, left arm reaches up. Exhaling, wrap that left shoulder and lift the mass of your intestines and your torso away from that left thigh. Deep, significant breaths can help start to spread and open up that left side of body. Inhale that left arm up and over. We'll set the hands down. Exhaling, step left foot back, and we'll lower all the way down to ground. Pulling shoulders away from neck. Cobra. Inhaling. Pull with your hands. Reach back through your legs. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. Interlock warrior. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Right arm goes under and encircles that right leg and hip. Left hand behind back. Press that left leg outward, meaning away from the pelvis, into the ground. Now here's a wonderful place. Can you get that whole left leg activated? Can you feel line of activity through that left leg and deeply breathe. Kind of on the heels of yesterday, can we feel activation in the body and metabolize that with our deep breath? And when we release the hands, set them on the ground on the inside of the right foot. Okay, so a little bit of a hip opening or head to ankle here. So one is reaching the elbows down, and that may be sufficient. Neck relaxed. Then if you're just kind of hot and mobile, you might want to tuck that right arm under. Okay, and that way the shoulder starts to move behind the right calf. And when we release out of there, we'll bring hands on either side of that right foot. This time when we step back, downward dog. In downward dog, I'm going to convert this turbo dog, bend elbows, pushing to turn on and to keep on those chest muscles. Pushing floats the rib cage up right between the shoulder blades. And now use your legs and lift your pelvis away from your elbows. So there might be some intensity, but please get this. Use your legs and you can feel that there's a lot of freedom starting to grow in and through that core and that torso. As you lift, there's a little more freedom. It's baked right into that intensity so often. It's like right in there. You have to spot it amidst a lot of other flavors. And then inhale the left foot forward. Interlock warrior. Left arm and circles under the left thigh. Right hand behind back. Good. So you can always use a strap to get the hands to connect. Now press with that sole of right foot, getting all of those leg particles reaching away from the pelvis. And connect to a deep breath. And a little version of head to ankle. Release the hands and set them down. When I set them down on the inside of that left leg and relax the head, that may be a lot of heat being generated off of those legs. Okay, so just that might be a lot of sensation. Another possibility is you can reach the elbows toward the ground. It's not about moving the fingertips forward, it's about reaching with the elbows to get the shoulder blades to move across the back a certain way. Again, when we inhale and exit, we'll step our left foot back, downward dog. Downward dog. And now press. Press and lift off of those shoulder sockets. And I just mean that in the sense of get lighter through the shoulders. And as you're using your legs, pulling, get lighter through the rib cage. All right, inhaling, step your feet about midway up the mat, and let's find a little bit of block so I can show you how we might address either a little more head to ankle or turn signals. So it's going to just depend a little bit on, do you want to have weight on your hands or not? All right, so one of the ways we can get into turn signal, I'll show you two ways, is hooking, say, the right arm under the right thigh. And then I can keep this left knee on the ground. This will be the easiest on the hands and the wrists. And you see how this left leg just becomes a crouching leg as I reach this right leg out. Okay, so I actually sat back a little bit. That kind of makes it easier. Okay. Now, when I switch sides, it's just pulling that foot toward my butt. Some of you will want to do this with a block. I'll use two so we can see the side change. So I perch on the blocks, get both arms set in that Bakasana, that crow position. Okay, and then I'll practice just by encircling my arm with my leg. And here too, I just kind of sit back a little bit. I'm a catcher. And then to get that foot back, I just pull heel toward butt, prop it on the block, and we do the other side. We'll do both sides. Okay. Oops. And then encircle. Okay. And of course, if you don't need the blocks, cast them out and you can do it full weight bearing. So why I might set my knee down, it is the most stable. It is the most stable position, has the least degree of variability. And plus I can get into those kind of hip spots where I get my hands down, my arm under the thigh, and I can just kind of rock back and work some of those really deep, to me they feel like groin and hamstring areas. So it'll be a lot of just leg strength. So choosing which one you want to do, there it is. Nice, Smiley. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, if you, never mind, keep going. Nice, nice, Marcy. Oh. Yeah, and if you're finishing up the second side, just take your time. There's definitely no rush. Yeah, just moving as patiently as you need to. So at least we're teaching the body the routes there are to take, and we can always load those routes later. But it's helpful to know the route before we load it. Okay. Now if you have exited, let's step back into downward dog. Relaxing neck, let's wrap the shoulders. And move the sit bones away from the ribs. Inhaling, step right foot forward, warrior two. And we'll take ostrich. So clasp hands behind back, fold inside right thigh. Now let your hand grab, I grab my hands interlaced so that I can traction my finger joints and my hand parts. So I'm letting my palms gently pull apart so that I can feel that relief through the wrists and even up through the fronts of the shoulders and the biceps. And inhaling, hands down to sacrum. We change sides. Place hands down. Exhaling, chaturanga. And decide, inhaling, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right. Inhale, step your left foot forward. So it's like a warrior one, warrior two, just a warrior stance. Left knee bent, right leg straight. Clasp hands, ostrich. Just letting your ostrich be part of a hand, wrist, and shoulder relief. And inhaling, bring the hands down to sacrum, release. Exhaling, step back, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Gently set your knees down, have a seat. One final short piece. While you're seated, and it's really important for this to be beneficial, to keep the chest uplifted. So resist the urge to collapse the sternum toward the belly. So I keep the chest lifted and bring the chin down. So this is in lieu of, say, shoulder stand. So if you're trying to find out what to do here, it's chin down. Now another option is bringing one of your arms to the back of your head and just adding a tiny amount of weight. This will start to spread that back of neck area, so if there's pain, omit the arm weight. And now with the chin being moved down, inhaling, actively lift the chest and the backbones up. And once more. And when you lift that weight off of your head, lie back for Shavasana. And as you're connecting to your breath, just feeling that spread all throughout your body. Feeling your breath permeate the skin cells, the boundary of your skin. Let it seep into the musculature, into the bones, and even into the marrow and the blood cells. And as you're feeling your breath penetrate more deeply and deeply, if there's any little hook or any little resistances, you might feel a little halt, right? Just notice that moment or that depth at which there was a slight hesitation. And we'd like to acknowledge and even bless those hesitation places, knowing they can be of great intelligence and energy. That we get to engage a practice that is conducive to our own growth is astounding and worth one moment of appreciation. So right now, thank yourself. Thank your body. And when you're ready, turn to a side. Use both of your hands and press yourself up to seated. Namaste.